lot of stuff moving around in the economy.
Yes.
A lot of inflation and recession worries. Gas prices are enough to give you a freaking heart attack. God, I filled up my Raptor, and I just laid down in the middle of the gas station parking lot and held my heart for a minute. Oh, man. I mean, because you fill up a Prius, it's one thing. But when you fill up a Raptor, it's another, man. I'm just saying.
I can only imagine.
Wow. I bought houses cheaper than that back in the day. But, oh, my gosh. It's a thing. And you go to the grocery store, and you put your buggy's half full of what it was, and it's just as much money. It's almost like shopping at Whole Foods every day.
That's
I mean, it's like really, it's crazy. And I used to call it whole paycheck, right? But it's wild out there. The interest rates have gone way up on housing. House prices, of course, have gone way up in 20, and in 21 they're up a little this year. And everybody's worrying about a real estate crash now, and labor cost to hire someone to get a job. I'm seeing a lot of comments and stuff flowing through in our place right now. It's like, how do I can't even make it. I mean, I can't. Inflation has just destroyed what was left of my little budget. But in my mind, when I hear that, there's always two sides to each budgeting equation: the income side and the outgo side. I also know that they're no longer paying people $10 an hour to put the bread on the shelves. They're now paying them $20 to $30 an hour to put the bread on, which is why the cost of bread went up, by the way. It wasn't wheat, and it wasn't a shortage. It's the cost of labor. Oh, and the diesel fuel in the truck to deliver the bread. Oh, yeah, that's built into that. So that's why your loaf of bread went up. That's why Sharon bought some bologna the other day, and, man, that was a lot of money.
What?
It's real food, but
Sharon bought bologna?
Oh, for me, yes. Homegrown tomato, big red onion, big old piece of white bread, and
really?
That's better than filet mignon, man. Don't you know anything?
I know you have a
You fry it a little bit. It's a redneck delicacy, man. I mean,
frying the bologna.
You fry it a little bit. You put it on there. Oh man, that's about.
You could take the boy out of Antioch.
We're getting sidetracked here, but anyway, the point being that if your budget is stressed, Ken. And your salary is fixed, it might be time to look.
That's correct.
Because you might be able to make a whole lot more money somewhere else. But be careful, because you could jump over into one of these companies that have lost their minds and are doing all kinds of crazy butt stuff, and then you get stuck in the middle of the crazy butt stuff.
Oh, yeah. We're seeing a lot of that. Now, the facts are, just give you two different stories. When you change jobs, we've seen over the last year and a half, you're looking at about a 14% on average pay bump.
Well, that would cover your inflation.
That's pretty nice, especially if you adjust your budget. I also saw a story recently on the news about this couple that's they're extreme frugal savers and budgeters, probably our kind of people, and they're like, we're not even feeling the inflation. I know that when we do these debt-free screams over the last 6 months, inflation doesn't come up at all. So there is a way to do it. The way that we teach it works. But let's give you some good news about the economy. Just reported on my show today that Olive Garden, they beat their projections. And what have they done? They've kept their prices low, and turns out families like a lot of free breadsticks and bottomless salad. But the point is,
my weight in both of those
right.
things. There.
But here's a story that you're not hearing in the media. When a restaurant like that decides, you know what, we're going to keep our costs where they are. It's costing us a little bit more, but they got more people coming in because they're offering things. So you hear all this bad news about inflation and the economy. We also saw reported today, that for the first time in 7 months, home sales spiked in May. So this doomsday stuff, we need to get over it.
Well,
those are good indicators.
The anxiety and the fear around filling up your car and almost passing out is real.
Absolutely right.
The anxiety and the fear over half the stuff in the grocery basket and it's just as expensive is real. However, what's just as real is there's almost an across-the-board increase in wages.
That's correct.
And if you haven't received that, then you should talk to your employer because he's getting ready to have to replace you.
Yeah, that's right. And there's opportunity like we've never seen before. We still see 11
What we
million
are paying
jobs.
for a position at Ramsey has changed dramatically in 12 months based on the marketplace.
That's correct.
In order to get someone to do X or Y or Z, it is different than it was 12 months ago, and that difference is at least 14%.
That's correct. That's the average. Yeah, so folks, that's the average of people that change jobs. So we'll take those calls today because Dave's right. We don't want to chase just a paycheck because that'll wear off. No. If you're in a crappy culture with gossipy people,
you leave a good company and you go into a bunch
miserable.
of crap, and they're doing the woke agenda, and then and you hate that stuff, and you all of a sudden you're going to be spending all your money on and your time on that instead of actually helping people and doing work.
That's correct.
So we're quite the opposite around here at Ramsey. We're kind of boring old dinosaurs, and kind of proud of that, by the way. But the anyway, yeah. So I mean, you make sure you're going to a company that aligns with your values. Maybe you want to do all the woke stuff, then go. You need to make sure they're doing all that stuff. But a lot of them are doing, they're going overboard with it because they're just virtue signaling.
That's correct.
And so if you leave a good company, like, I mean, we had a young man that left here a while back, and he texted this weekend, and he's like, "Oh God, this place is a disaster that I went to." And he got more money than we were paying him, so he got a raise.
Sure.
But he went into a mess, And so be careful that you're not doing that, or be careful you're not taking a job that you hate, or be careful that you're not thinking something's, what it was. I had another guy, a friend of mine, left his position because he was going to work 20 hours a week from home for more money.
Yeah.
Now he's working 80 hours a week.
Yeah.
From home.
Well, there's a lot
for
of
more
people,
money.
Yeah, it's a mirage. A lot of people lying. Well, here's what's unique about Ramsey Solutions, and we're always hiring. So, you need to be checking out RamseySolutions.com. But we know from research, I spoke about this at our Entree Leadership Summit, here are 3 human needs that we all want fulfilled at work. Number 1, we want to see meaning and purpose in our work. We have a crusade mentality because we're giving people hope and real practical steps for life transformation at this company. Number 2, we want to be recognized for our unique contribution. I can't tell you the stories of people that are executives here in this company who started out as administrative assistants, and because we recognize people's hard work, we recognize their talent, we give them an opportunity to get promoted, they do here.
Two of them sitting on my operating board.
2 of them. And then the third thing that we need is we want a relationship with our leader. I cannot tell you how much this company cares for its people. It's a real relationship with the people that you report to.
Right.
If you don't have that, find it somewhere.
Yeah, find it somewhere, and make sure if you're going for more money that you get that too.
Or else it's
the
not gonna
money
matter.
you'll be hating your life all for a few bucks.
That's right.
But you can help with inflation by either an upward a raise at your current place, or a move to somewhere else. Well, I work for the state. Well, maybe it's time to move somewhere else. They're probably not going to give you a 12% inflationary raise this year, and you probably can get it somewhere else. This is the Ramsey Show.